All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's October 21st. NQ, just shy of that all time highs. Pretty uneventful overnight session following yesterday's rally. Yesterday, we were talking about that 160, 160, 180 area. That was last week's high, kind of the near term range high. Basically, how I'm looking at this is a previous near term range within a much larger kind of 5 week plus range. So we broke that little structure from last week up through 160, 180 area, now just shy of the all time high. Really, what we want to see for this morning is if this area, this resistance zone, if sellers are going to step in and defend this point, continue to hold the range, maybe back into 160, maybe a bounce from there, or if that area fails, probably down into 25K, 25,900, and we can start to look for some potential buying activity into last week's volume point of control. That's kind of scenario number one. Sellers defend the all-time high. Scenario number two is we see a break of the all-time high with acceptance above the highs, and price just enters a new price discovery phase here, which I wouldn't love that because trading at all-time highs, we have no levels of interest. It is typically, at least for my system, it is quite a bit slower because I lean so heavily on levels of interest. So I don't love the all-time highs trading, much prefer to have strong levels of interest to be working with, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So really focused on how price responds to this area right there here. Overnight high and then the all-time high at 25,394. Pretty straightforward. Yesterday we were talking about all the Project X craziness with the AWS outage that was impacting Top Step, Lucid, Tradeify, and whoever else uses Project X. It has been reported, and it looks like they are rolling back any trades that you had from yesterday, win or loss, which is a little bit unfortunate if you had some profitable trades, but it is a blessing if you had some losses, right? So it is what it is. I mean, there's no reason to complain about it or be upset about it. That's part of using some of these platforms. That's just part of the risk. The risk involved with trading. You got platform risk, you got clearing issue risk. Clearing houses can bust trades. I remember in the April volatility, there are a lot of guys trading the overnight session, and not very many brokers offer overnight trading. That's like kind of a new thing. You have Interactive Brokers who offers it through one clearinghouse, and then Robinhood, I know, does some 24-hour trading as well. And there were a couple of guys that I saw on Twitter that were up quite a lot, and the clearinghouse busted all the trades. They just said, nope, we're not honoring this. And so, I mean, these are kind of some things that you don't really think about as a potential risk that is involved with this business, but it's real. It's real and it happens. So it is what it is. We move on. We move on. We're on to the next day, looking for new opportunities. Trading all time highs, not your favorite thing to do either, Mario? Yeah. Not a fan. All we have is the reference points, prior day levels, prior day high, prior day low, overnight high, overnight low. Meh. I don't love it. I don't love it. Timmy, what's up, man? Good to see you. SHawk08, issues with APT. Send me or Misha a DM on that. Not the place to be troubleshooting alert issues or anything like that. Got the open here in 60 seconds. RTY sitting on the overnight low. ES, let's take a look. What did ES do yesterday? I did not even check that. GC pulling back. You got gold pulling back. RTY is into some resistance here. Yeah, so ES, very similar structure to NQ, unsurprisingly, but it did break last week's high and is still just shy of that all-time high. Let's take a look. What are we talking about as far as distance? 0.5% on ES. NQ's got to be closer. Yeah, that's nothing. 0.1% on NQ. All right, 10 seconds still to open. No economic data today. Last I checked, government is still shut down, so there's your open, about 25,301. Opening price, NASDAQ. You got VWAP right here. But other than that, pretty much no man's land. I'm waiting for either, where are we at? No, not 354 we could keep an eye on per day high. But mostly interested in that overnight high, all-time high area, which is way higher. And or 160, 180. Those are our nearest levels of interest. Between that, we've got some reference points. Overnight low. Right through here, and then your prior day high, overnight high area. All this area, don't really want to get involved with. So it's going to be probably a slow morning. Let's see. Let's see the next 5 to 10 minutes, how we're looking. No gap this morning. 5-minute RTH chart shows an open very, very close to prior day close. All right, NQ, we're getting into overnight low, 253. Reference point. I don't see you in the trade day influencer cup competition, man. I'm not an influencer. I'm just a trader. No influence here. NQ, a little bounce from overnight low. No sweep. No sweep of the overnight low. Benny, the the yoga trading. Oh man. Yeah, so I got a thick. It's not really a yoga mat. It's more like it's like a thick exercise mat. My desk, my standing desk will actually get pretty low. It's gonna sound crazy to some of you, but sometimes I'll sit on the floor, sit on the ground in different positions, um, trying to improve my hip mobility for squats and other leg exercises. So it's helpful. It's helpful. So now I have the exercise mat with the desk gets super low, standing mode, and then the stool with the rounded bottom as well. It's a little crazy, but that's what I like to do. Yeah, Mario, we're getting up there, man. Nasdaq, a little bounce coming into that session high. ES on its own into session highs. RTY bounce versus prior day low. Volume just super low off the open here. Sam, backdrop, neutral bullish. At the We had the range within the range, still within the bigger range, but price is breaking or has broken the near term range. A bigger picture here is just sideways, just like this. So that'd be neutral. Sideways market. Then I was the for near term. I look at like past 3 to 4 days. So it was just sideways here. And we break yesterday. Gives you the neutral bullish. That's how I look at it anyway. And just like that. Nasdaq has not made a fresh high. Look at that gold move. Wow. This thing really puts in some overnight movement. And Q coming into session lows, overnight low area. NASDAQ new low of day. There's your overnight low. Our downside level is 180. $180 at 10 a.m. would be nice to see. 180, 160 area. A little uptick in volume right now. Got ES into the lows, RTY into the lows. So there's a little sweep of the overnight low. Little sweeper. See how it does here. B plus trade. Can't take it in the personal. See if my stop gets rammed right now. Here it comes. So beneath this session low, I'll wait till 180, 160 area.
Order filled.
Now we wait 180, 160. How do I stay so composed, Timmy? How do you mean? Like in the trade? Few years of experience will help out. Belief in your edge will help out. We're right back here into overnight low. So that's a good example right there of why I tend to keep a little bit of a buffer beneath the actual structure. Give it a little bit of breathing room. But we'll let that one go. Not going to chase it higher here. Decent volume. And about 13 minutes till 10 a.m. So ideally, I'd love to see if this thing's actually going to flush here at overnight low. Push into that 180, 160 area that aligns with 10 a.m. So I like to see the reaction down here. Now, what's tricky about this is I'd consider this like kind of the must hold area for buyers. Last week's high, because price is now potentially rejecting the upper portion of this intermediate term range. So remember, with range trading, your best opportunities are at the edges. If this is rejecting, do I want to be, super aggressively long at the first downside level, still in the upper portion of the range? Not really. Not really. So that's what I was saying. I'll likely attempt it there if I see what I want to see, and then I'll be hands off until down into this area right through here. Last week's volume point of control 900, kind of the midpoint of the range. Still a terrible spot, but it's getting better, starting to get better down into there with all the volume that took place at those price points. ES into overnight low, fresh lows on the S&P. Keep an eye on your 5 and 15 minute. 15 minutes saw is 8 minutes before it closes. I don't know if anyone's watching ES, but that's what I like to see right there for an overnight low spring setup. That's what I was looking for with NQ. So just look beneath that overnight low, reclaim. Usually you can manage that into a pretty nice winner, even if price doesn't mark a session high. RTY down beneath the prior day low. And about 7 minutes till 10 a.m. Watching the 5, watching the 15 right now as we get into 10. I like what I see in ES. See if NQ can partake. Well, it doesn't look like we'll be into that 180 area at 10 a.m. by the current looks of things. So got about 4 minutes. NQ back into the lows. Personal is still cash. No trades taken. Waiting for that A plus opportunity. And ES back into lows as well. Intraday structure, first 30 minutes downtrend. There's your fresh low, NASDAQ. All right, so we come into 10 a.m. and Q's beneath overnight low. That's the nearest reference point, but still quite a ways from the 180, 160 area that I'm interested in. So still right now, just staying patient. I need to see some sort of intraday change of character, some action with market structure above overnight low, or alternatively, a reversal versus that 180, 160 zone. Till then, hands off. Hands off. Mm-hmm. See what we get here. ES new lows. ES, that same intraday structure, intraday downtrend. Just patiently waiting right now. For ES is definitely going to be the line in the sand here, 6755 area. Just looking at that 2 hour chart. All right, we're getting back in overnight low. Bit of a snoozer morning so far. We tried that one long overnight low spring setup. Got out of a partial and stopped on the rest in the Lucid account. And that's been the only trade this morning. NQ rejecting overnight low, 253. How's our profile looking? Let's see this thing. Yeah, it's going to be a while before that volume point of control shifts. Let's check RTH. Oh, it's down here for RTH. So far, there's an inside day. I like that idea, Timmy. That's kind of what just happened in ES. See how this thing shakes out. So far, 10 a.m. has marked the low on both NQ and ES. Wow, yeah, that's a big difference in the stats there between NQ and RTY. That's good info. That's the power of review. It's the power of looking at the data. Most don't want to do it. Most do not want to do it. It's part of why the failure rate is so high in this industry. So that most recent 15-minute bar is shaped like a hammer. See if it can show any follow through. Not much else to do here. Just staying patient right now. Staying patient. Let the setup come to you. Let the trade come to you. There you go. NQ waking up a little bit up through overnight low. How's everyone's morning so far? Anyone trading yet? How's it looking? See if we get a change of character right here. NQ, I like to see some action up and through this most recent lower high. Okay, NASDAQ just shy of VWAP, potential intraday change of character. That 15-minute that we commented on a moment ago gave a good clue. See if we can get some follow through now above VWAP. There's the trade, Timmy, if you're still here. Little micro high or low at the overnight low following 15-minute hamski. Up and through VWAP. We'll see if that holds. This thing can push a little bit more. I'm going to lift the trail to about 6.8, 268. Notice both my trades today, if you were here earlier, they're in the exact same location for the most part, give or take 5 or 10 points. Got to know what locations you like. And ES is into session highs. I thought that had a little bit of a better look to it. Really don't love trading ES though, compared to NQ anyway. So 300's the main target here, 303 area. Trail still at 6.8. If we can break 85 here, I'll lift it to about 76. This will put me 1 for 2 on the morning, 1 for 1 in the personal account, and 0 for 1 in the Lucid straight to funded accounts. Both trades at the overnight low. It's kind of where we're at as far as the actual analysis is concerned. Need another push right here. Making the most of these slower markets, at least today. Volume point of control. Oh, I wish Trading View would not make you scroll all the way back. Yeah, that's a good shout, Benny. Thanks. And there's the trailed out. So pretty minimal gains there, but we'll take it. Take my 10 points, 15 points. And we're on to the next trade. On to the next. So what I ended up doing there was grabbing a little micro higher low right in that overnight low area. once this structure started to build. 10 yoints better than 0? Yes, sir. That is true. We'll take it. We'll take it. Overnight low stays on watch. Keeping an eye on this intraday structure now. Keep reaching for my coffee, but I already drank it all. Darn. ES marked a session high. Yeah, it does. Time to re-up. Grab some more coffee. So watching this area right through here. RTY back up into the overnight low VWAP area. I would like to see some better volume this morning. And no hold. I'll probably go right back for the lows. And coming right back into the lows. Nice reject at the session volume point of control VWAP area. That was a good shout, Benny. Thank you, sir. ES, you can call that intraday up thrust. A little look above the session high and immediate failure. And Q into the lows. All right, so we're back to watching for 180, 160 area. Unless this 200 is going to be holding. Don't believe I have a level at 200 unless you're talking about this volume node from early October. Most interested in, yeah, 180, 160 area. NQ new low of day right there. No signal on that retest, Timmy, on at overnight low. Yeah, I was ready with the top step XFAs. But typically what I'll do is I'll put a limit buy kind of above the area that I want, above the candle that I want, and then just let it sit. If it gets filled, it gets filled. If not, it doesn't. GC, massive, massive puke over there on gold. Wow. What a move. Look at that. GC down 5% today. Good R vol as well. Wonder if D wall is in there. Dave, you got that? Man, beautiful. That overnight low retest, nice. NQ, very slight new low of day there. I'm just right back into the intraday structure. ES has not marked a session low. Not much I can do right here. So we wait. Starting to get closer to that area I'm interested in. A little more than an hour into the sesh. And NASDAQ back in overnight low. So back into a worthwhile reference point. Remember, this is still an inside day. Still here, just in the middle of yesterday's range. Yeah, the higher low at overnight low looked good there. On ES, Mario, that's nice. That idea is long gone, though. For me, anyway. Need that entry at like 765. That was nice. Missed that. Missed that little micro entry. That's the Mish tax right there. The Mish DMs tax got me again. Damn. Volume tapering. Tapering down. ES back in a session highs. So we're 1 for 1 in the personal, 0 for 1 in the Lucid S2F. Keep it going at least another 20 minutes here. I want to see that 11 a.m. Yeah, agreed, Mario. It's not my action right here. I'm just happy these days I have the patience and discipline to not be doing too much. Because I'll tell you, a few years ago, this would be a rough day for me. This would be a rough day. Right now, we're just chilling. Green in the personal, red in the lucid, but that's how I segment my risk. So it's perfect. Take the BB plus in the prop accounts. Save the best for the personal. Yeah, getting in and out. Yeah. Same, man. That gold move. Wow, man. Big trend. GM up 15%. I think they just reported earnings. Yeah. Look at that. Makes me want to dust off the options account right there. Man, just vertical. Buy calls. Buy calls off the open and just sit. Those were the days. Let's see what else. Ford on the back of GM, probably. Yep. Yeah. 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 No matter. Yeah. IV 200%. Oh, well. Oh man. Let's see. Unity software. Is this earnings? What happened here? Let's see earnings here. This must be something else. Looks like RTY made a new high of day there as well. Ever so slightly. No updates on that Unity, Mish. Something's going on there. It's got the RVOL. It's watch list. See if old Walter Bloomberg give us something on that one just for fun. I actually don't see any news there. Wonder if it's one of those Wall Street bets things. Could be. Anyhow, NQ sideways, sideways, sideways. Look at your 5 minute. Pretty tight range as well. 65 points. I would like to see price leave basically these bounds here. Up above 275, up above 300 even. Or break 200 and then put me down into this area. I'll look for reversal, intraday reversal. One of the better opportunities this morning, definitely this ES higher low at the overnight low while NQ was making a fresh low. ES did demonstrate a little bit of relative strength when it made that new high of day, and NQ did not. Probably the best opportunity today, though, was this overnight low reject of, or excuse me, this GC overnight low reject. Massive volume. If you trade GC, if you trade gold, it's a huge move. 38% fib right there as well. Yeah, it's like a gap and go there on GC, huh? Almost. Oh, there's a big unfilled gap down beneath the current low, 4100. Jeez. Yeah, it's definitely one of the crazier looking charts in recent memory. ES over VWAP NQ under. Mario, you look at gold, you look at GC. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. ES new high of day. RTY new high of day. See if NQ is going to participate or not. I'm looking another 10 minutes. See if we get something around 11 a.m. with that fresh 30-minute bar. Otherwise, that's going to be a wrap for me. NQ's getting into 285. Coming into session highs now. ES is up into prior day high and overnight high. NQ just shy of session highs. Session high is 304.5. Have not seen an entry, so all right, here's 11 a.m. We're 90 minutes into the sesh. NQ's bumping up against 25,300, current session high. and rejected. Rejected right there. Is this today's range? 25 200 by 25 300. I may just take my scalp and call it 15 15 points on the personal. Pretty uneventful. Better than yesterday. No trade day yesterday. And traded my setup, so can't control the outcome of any one trade. Cannot control the outcome. You have to be willing to accept whatever the market gives you. Some days that's going to be multiple 100 pointers. Other days it's going to be a 15-point scalp. And that's part of the business. I think I'm going to call it right there. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank this morning for late morning trades. NQ, I'm watching today's range 25 300 by 25 200. ES trying to hold prior day high. It's an area to keep on watch for sure. NQ is just an inside day though, and these are historically, for me, some of my least favorite, least actionable trading days. Whenever price is entirely within the prior day's range, it's typically a time for me to be doing less. So what I'll be looking at late morning. Remember, we talked about ahead of the open. Most interested in this area, 180 by 160 and or the all-time high. There's kind of where that prior day high and overnight high currently sits. Price is just in the middle of the two primary areas that I'm interested in. So per my plan, got to be doing less. I'll watch the session low if we get a retest back into that area just to trade the intraday structure, or look for maybe some action up and through the session high with the prop accounts. But not much else I want to do here, to be honest. So call it there. Thank you guys for your time. Fairly slow morning, a little bit better than yesterday, but fairly slow. Hope you guys had a good one, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.